What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Daigs Dangles. I'm your host, Justin Daig, aka The Dangler.
Daigle has it, does a nice turn, still holding, has a quick shot, tipped on, and it goes in.
Now, I know it's been a little while since our last segment, reason being I got a pretty good head knock at the end of the national season. So for all you kids out there, learn from my mistake. Do not cut across the ice with your head down.
Last chance, going wide, oh, big hit.
Now today we're going to be going over everything you need to know about shooting. We're going to include your wrist shot, snap shot, slap shot, and your backhand. So we're going to break everything down into 3 simple steps. So make sure you're paying attention here. And again, you don't need to be on the ice to do this. Obviously it helps, but find an area where you can start shooting, whether you set up a net in the garage, backyard. I used to shoot against the fence. Parents probably won't like that, but find a way that you can start working on these things on your own time. Alright guys and girls, before we get into actually breaking down the shooting technique, I always like to give you guys an example of players you should be watching at the NHL level. You can YouTube these guys, but 2 of the best pure shooters in the NHL right now, we got Zdeno Chara, hardest slap shot, wins it almost every year.
Chara, one-timer, scores! Puck is redirected in!
And we got Jarome Iginla, one of the best snapshots and pure releases in the game.
Still on the power play, shot by Iginla, scores!
So make sure you're checking out some of their footage and try to replicate what they do, because clearly they got it figured out. Alright guys, so now it's time to actually start shooting some pucks. Alright, we've talked about sticks previous episodes, it's time to put these sticks to use. So, we're going to start with 3 basic steps that we want everybody following in order to make sure we've got a good technique in place. Technique as far as shooting is the most important part. Everyone thinks it's strong, having big biceps, this and that. That's wrong. It's all in the technique. So, first step, we got to get in our hockey stance. Feet shoulder width apart. We want to make sure we're bending our knees. We need to make sure we're bending our knees. That's where the power comes from. Now, step 1, we're going to take our puck. We bring it all the way back behind our back foot. This is the key. A lot of people will make the mistake of trying to shoot from the front of their body. We need to bring that puck back in our stance. Now, notice, as I bring it back, all my weight transfers to that back foot. Now I'm ready to get started with my shot. So I have the puck on the heel of my stick, not on the toe. So this is for wrist shots. Now, step 2, we start to slide that puck, and as we slide the puck, my weight transfers onto the front foot. Okay? So we load up, that's step 1. Step 2, we start to transfer the weight and slide the puck. Step 3, we release and follow through. Okay? Now, in step 2, I call it the trigger point. Trigger point is right in the middle of our stance. Now that's where we get the wrist roll happening, okay? The wrist roll is what's going to give you that extra little snap when you release the puck. So, back to step 1, bringing the puck back in our stance. Notice the head has to be up and looking at our target, not down at the puck like that. So step 1, load it up. Step 2, transfer the weight. There's the trigger point, and then we follow through, okay? So in fast action, here's what it looks like. That's all it is. Alright, one more thing to keep in mind, guys, when we are shooting, doesn't matter what shot it is, we need to have the hands away from the body, okay? A lot of people make the mistake of locking the hand on the hip, and that's not a good technique. We need to make sure hands are off the body. So now we're going to talk about our slap shots, okay? So slap shots, we want to line that puck up right in the middle of our stance. And if not in the middle, just a little bit towards the front foot, okay? Now, with the slap shot, same thing applies. Wrist shot, slap shot, snap shot. We have to transfer our weight. Like I said earlier, the power of your shot is not in your arms. It's all in the weight transfer and the technique, okay? So, breaking down a slap shot for you guys. Step 1, we're in our hockey stance. I got our knees bent. We're ready to go now. So, what we do, hands need to be just slightly lower than when we stick handle. But we don't want to go all the way down the shaft, because that's going to mean I got to come down too low. Alright? So for a slap shot, puck right in the middle of our stance. Step 1, we load it up. So as we bring our stick back, we close our wrists and we lean on our back foot. Okay? Really important that we roll our wrists here as well, just like with the wrist shot. So, load it up, wrists are back, that's step 1. Now I'm ready to start transferring my weight. So as I come through, my weight starts to shift. I load up the stick, and I come through on the trigger point. Same thing as the wrist shot, trigger points in the middle of our stance. So, step 1, load it up. Step 2, come through. Step 3 is the follow through and release. Okay, so same thing here. Fast, back, and through. Now one more thing we got to keep in mind is where we're impacting the puck with our blade. We don't want to hit it on the heel or far on the toe. We want to find that sweet spot, somewhere in the middle of the blade, okay? We all have curves on our stick. This is the time to let the curve go to work. Alright guys, so one thing to reiterate to you about the slap shot that I didn't mention is making sure that we're impacting the ice about an inch behind the puck. So we don't want to catch the puck clean, because when we do that, the puck's not going to get any leverage and the stick won't flex. So we all talked about flex when we were picking out sticks. This is the time to use it. So with the slap shot, we want to make an impact on the ice an inch behind the puck. That's going to allow the stick to flex, which is going to add velocity to the shot. Alright everyone, that's it for another episode of Daigs Dangles. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really hope you guys learned something. Huge shout out to Paradise for letting us film here and using the ice. Now if you're looking for an opportunity to get on the ice and start working on these things, check out KamuraHockey.co.nz. We've got lots of stuff on the go. And a huge thank you, obviously, to CenterIce.co.nz for all your hockey needs. They got you covered. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you next time.